Hello and welcome back to Robeson Design. I'm Rebecca Robeson here in San Diego, California, and I'm taking you to my home today to show you the top 10 creative things I've done in my own home. Many of you have seen my home over the years, especially during my walkthrough tours at Christmas time, and you've seen this home all dolled up. But what I've never showed you before is the before pictures, what it looked like when we bought it 15 years ago. We were looking for a home, and I knew when we found this one it was perfect. Why? Because it had 600 feet of office space in the front of the house. And up until that time, Robeson Design was operating out of my garage.
Wow. A lot of stuff.
Before I even begin my 10 list of things, let me just say the obvious. We removed all the wallpaper, the popcorn on the ceilings. We changed the textures on the walls, which was like a cottage cheese that had been painted in a semi-gloss, really nasty looking walls. We retextured all of that, and we added lighting throughout the house. Lighting, as you know, is one of my biggest things that I love. We have a design session just on lighting, and I do it here in my house. And if you want to know more about that, go to my website and check out the design sessions. So, I guess the best place to start in this house is at the entry. Your entry is your first impression, and this entry drove me nuts. It was a big rectangle, it was dark, and it had this low drop ceiling. Now I asked my contractor, can't we just start the vaulted ceiling that goes in this living room and bring it on down? He said it would cost a tremendous amount of money, and all of my air conditioning and heating would have to be rerouted. Way too expensive. I was working on a very tight budget, so this is what I did, and I think it's a pretty creative idea. I brought your eye up. Instead of feeling like this wall and this opening is dropping so low, by adding this transom of molding and crown molding on top of it and painting it this off-white color, it sort of just makes your eye feel like it's a higher ceiling. You need to think about what's the first thing you see when you walk in. Now in this new home we bought, it was this wall behind me, and you can see that the previous owner had a curio cabinet on it. While it was nice for them, it wasn't as wow as I wanted my home to be. So what I did was I installed a 10-foot tall mirror. I had them arch the top of it, and then Oscar came and added 8-inch thick casing all the way around. It makes it look so handsome, and it's actually kind of an illusion. You actually think there's a room beyond there. Well, let me show you. Right now I have a table in front of this, but if I was to move this table and you were to see this, do you see how the floor runs right into the mirror, and you literally feel like you could just walk right on into another room? I wouldn't recommend it because it could be painful, but you could. So look at this clever little idea. I was able to add a little bit of natural light to this rather dingy entryway and bring some architectural interest. I have loved collecting old vintage windows for years. This one I got at a garage sale in my neighborhood. So I asked my contractor to open up a hole in this wall, and he did. And look how great it looks. It's hanging from a couple of just cup hooks and some little screws on top, and it is really amazing. It's again in that nice dark rich stain. It adds a lot, and it kind of gives you a first impression peekaboo right on into the living room. After years and years of designing absolutely beautiful staircases for my clients, I knew that's something I wanted to do in my home. The staircase as it was very straight, and it was very, had a pony wall that came up to about here. It was just very typical tract home in Southern California. I had Luis create for me. I designed it, but he created this beautiful custom iron railing for me. I had my contractor come in, and instead of having the stairs come straight down and just empty out, I had him swoop it around, lower that pony wall, giving me more space for this beautiful ironwork, and then a beautiful custom sort of free-flowing design as it came down around. So watch this. As I walk up and down my stairs, instead of coming down and just going straight there, I'm able to walk into my living room, my entry, and the rest of my home. This is really, really strange. I don't know if you've ever noticed this before, but my wood floors downstairs are all this very, very light wood. Well, when we did the wood flooring upstairs, I actually did it in the dark espresso. Very unusual. I've never seen anyone mix their woods before. And it was a little scary, but I knew because I had all this dark wood in my furniture, I thought maybe it could go. And you know what it does? It looks amazing. My kitchen is not where I want it to be, but thank God it's not where it used to be. Oh my gosh, when we first saw this house for the first time, I was like, that kitchen is seriously scary. One of the things it had in it was this bank of cabinets right across here. And what it did was it really defined the kitchen as a very separate space, and it was not a part of the other room. I wanted to have that flow through feel. This is an idea that you can use in your home, and I have done it many times. I then, of course, dropped in 2 pendant lights, but the other thing we did is take a look at what the lighting in the ceiling was like in this kitchen. It did not do anything for my complexion or my appetite. So we took that out and we put in can lights, and then around the perimeter, we kept the original shape. Someday, I'd like to redo my kitchen. New countertops, new cabinets, all that kind of stuff. But for now, just ghost coating those oak cabinets to be this dark espresso went with the rest of my house. It was a very inexpensive, cheap fix, and I think it made a nice difference. And one last thing that I noticed, and this is kind of a clever thing, I think. You can tell me what you think. So the cabinet that used to be here went straight across. Once that was gone, take a look. I felt like it looked, I was glad that this cabinet was gone, but it looked a little heavy on one side and nothing on this side. So the way I sort of camouflaged that issue is I took a shutter that I bought at Home Depot, I stained it espresso, and I just literally lean it up against there. And to me, that kind of balanced out the chocolate cabinets on that side and a little something chocolate on this side. So it's worked. It's been 15 years. I think we're due for a kitchen remodel. What do you think, honey? He said yes. Do you ever look at a wall in your house and you see door after door after door and it's kind of annoying? Well, that's how I felt in what was the family room for the previous owners. In here, there was a door that went underneath the staircase, a door to the powder room, and a door to the laundry room. The way that I fixed it is really inexpensive, and it's a great way to do it to kind of make a door go away.
Power tools again.
Here, I actually took the door off to the laundry room and cased it all the way around. Over here, we used the same casing and put a beautiful solid core door right here to the bathroom. So now, no door, door, and that one I needed because it's under my staircase. But you know what I did? Let me show you. We actually textured it the same thing as the wall. We took the casement off of it and the door handle, it just has a little button here now. But you know what this is? This is a touch latch right on into my very dirty closet. But anyway, the concept is cool. You do see the little line around here, but it doesn't give you the impression of yet another door. Now, if you're gonna do this, if you really wanna carry off the illusion, you'll notice on the floor, I put in my baseboards. They go actually across the door. So the door that opens has baseboard, and you're gonna need to do this. You actually have to notch out at an angle from this baseboard to this baseboard, because when this opens, that has to be able to open completely and not run into the baseboard. Just little things you learn as you do this kind of crazy stuff. Take a look at the before picture of this wall. This was a family room, and the television used to sit over here. You know why the television didn't sit against the wall? Because of this thing, this hearth that for some reason, some builder thought would be a great idea to bring it all the way across. Well, you know what he did? He just cut off, I don't know, 18, 20 inches of the room where nothing could go back against that wall. I decided I was gonna make this my dining room, and I wanted this to be a great focal point wall. So I bought 2 vintage chests of drawers to use as buffets, and what I did was I wanted them to go back against the wall. Well, how can you do that when that's in the way? I'll tell you how. I cut the back legs off of both of these vintage pieces. I mean, they weren't that expensive, and it was a pretty smart and clever idea. Leave me a comment below and let me know if you think that's clever. I do. Here's the other thing. This fireplace, I mean, would I have loved to have done a paneled built-in and all this kind of stuff? Yes, I would. I made the best of what I had, and that's the key. I want you guys to think outside the box and think, okay, I can't change this, but what can I do to work around it? That's what I did here. This is a simple plant-on mantle that I got from Pottery Barn years ago. But you don't get that feeling, do you? You know why? Having the wood on either side, it sort of gives you that impression of this grand fireplace. Trust me, this is no grand fireplace. But it looks pretty good, doesn't it? Oh, and just in case you want to know, for those of you who are concerned about the legs on my buffets, they're taped underneath to each buffet. So if I ever moved and wanted to use these again, all I have to do is drill peg holes in them and reattach them. Easy peasy. You'll often find a linen cabinet in the hallway somewhere. Well, in this home, upstairs at the top, and you could still see it from downstairs, was your typical linen cabinet. Lower cabinets, upper cabinets. Boring. So eventually I designed a beautiful linen cabinet. I call it my Martha Stewart cabinet because it reminds me of something she would do. It brings in all of my casements, my crown molding, big base molding, and it's in this nice, yummy kind of buttery cream color. But with the glass doors, what it did was it made me accountable to keep my linens clean. And I made a big switch to all white. In the master bedroom, on this far wall, which this was a long room, I actually had some space. So here's what I did. I added an entire wardrobe system to this back wall, and I completely covered it in mirror. Now let me show you these doors right here. This is all IKEA. This is my jewelry storage, and I am gonna do a video just on jewelry and how I store my jewelry. That's coming. But every one of these opens. The doors themselves come this way. You can get them with mirrors on them, but the drawers, not so much. IKEA does not make them that way. So I had a mirror company come and cover the mirrors, and then I had them fill in the empty space that the IKEA wardrobe system didn't cover. We love it. It gave my husband a place to put his clothes, because you know that walk-in closet over there? Not big enough for both of us. So this answered our issue for where are we going to hang our clothes, and it really added a lot to this room. Hey, have you guys heard? The next design session is on window treatments. That's right, and you know what? The one after that is on spring cleaning. So I thought I'd get up here and kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And you know what? Not a moment too soon.
When summer is over, we fall in love. We slip by the rolling thunder. When summer is over.
Here's one more clever, quick, and cheap idea for you in a kitchen. If you wish you had an island but you don't have one, I actually put this one in. It's just a movable little French, I don't know, I got it from Ballard Company for a couple $100, but it's just the right size. It gives me something in the middle of this kitchen. Gives me a place to put stuff, to chop things if I was to ever chop, and to light some candles. That's kind of nice, don't you think? I hope you've enjoyed kind of taking a look at my house from where it was to where it is today, getting the top 10 things that I think are pretty cool and fun, and a lot of them are obtainable at any budget. What was your favorite? And what do you think maybe you could use in your home? After all, that's what this is all about. Just remember, this has taken me 15 years and I still haven't arrived. But I hope the one thing you take away from all of this is it's a process, it's a journey, and it's fun getting there. I wish you guys all the luck in the world. in your own, decorating in your own home. Remember the design sessions, that's where I teach you everything I know. The kinds of things I showed you today, that's a really good taste of the things that you learn in the design sessions. All right, you guys, I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so. By the way, on that subscribe button, there should be a bell right next to it. You should click on that bell. It will open up a box that you can click on that says, alert me every time Robeson Design uploads a new video. That way you won't miss anything. Okay, you guys, I love you. See ya. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up.